In addition to working as a central repository for the entire intelligence community, CIA is also one of the only intelligence communities given the authority to collect what's known as human intelligence, or HUMINT. HUMINT is when a person like me or you meets with another human being to steal that person's secrets, either through elicitation, through a formal agreement, through some act of digital or technical collection, whatever else it might be. Most of the other agencies like NSA or NRO, they're collecting signals, or they're connecting radio transmissions, or they're actually picking up pieces of paper or using imagery from a satellite to glean intelligence. Those are all different types of intelligence, different types of ints.
Yeah.
But HUMINT, or human intelligence, is one of the most dangerous and most expensive types of intelligence to collect, which is why very few organizations get to execute.
Yeah, and in that you wouldn't call the FBI an intelligence agency. They're more like part of the Justice Department.
Correct.
Because they're obviously doing person to person.
Correct. They're law enforcement. While FBI does have an intelligence capability, their intelligence capability is what's known as counterintelligence, meaning they're combating intelligence officers from foreign countries who are trying to steal secrets from the United States. The intelligence, as you would imagine, the intelligence capability of FBI is really focused on criminal investigations. It's more of an investigatory or interrogation-based intelligence collection, which is not clandestine in nature. You know when you're being interrogated.
Right.
You know when you're being investigated. It's a disclosure. Whereas when you're actually being collected upon clandestinely, you are not aware that your secrets are being collected.
Got it. So it's sort of like I didn't really understand it. So it's a repository of all the collection information that's collected, and then sort of working for the executive branch. So like the highest level of clearance, the president, the executive branch, et cetera. You didn't say it's a government organization.
No, I thought I did. It is a government organization.
It is so it is a division. It is a part of the U.S. government. It's not
under the executive branch.
Under the executive branch.
Correct, which is important to understand, and most people don't recognize that. There are 3 branches in government.
Right.
Those 3 branches are supposed to have checks and balances over each other, but they're also supposed to work independently. The CIA does not work for the American people. It does not work for the legislative branch. I don't know why people think that it should, or people have the expectation that it's there to support the American people. The CIA is not there for the American people. The CIA is there for the president, for the matters of national security that command the executive's attention. If you don't like the executive, CIA doesn't care. Their job is to support the executive. This is what happened with the Trump administration in 2016. When the CIA did not cooperate with the executive in 2016, the executive said, well, to hell with you. All of your funding, all of your utility, all of your value is here for me. So if you're not going to listen to me, then I'm not going to use you. And that's why from 2016 to 2020, there was all this consternation between Donald Trump and CIA. What people are concerned about in the new election in 2024 is the same thing happening again. Even worse, now that Donald Trump has been convicted in New York, people are afraid that he's going to somehow use the CIA under his executive privilege to essentially become a clearinghouse for working against his internal domestic opponents. Right? Sort
of like we've already seen, but that's a whole nother story. We'll come back to that maybe a little bit later. But so it is a government organization. I was going to ask you if it's maybe somewhat of a rogue government institution, which you kind of already said it was in the instance it wasn't working directly with the executive in that example.
No, so it's there. It serves at the behest of the executive. It's important to understand, and I want to make sure that I say this clearly. CIA has no rogue capabilities. It operates under a set of legislative authorities. Those legislative authorities are what controls it, keeps it in check and balance with the legislative and the judicial branches. Right? It can't just do what it wants. If it tries to do what it wants, the legislative or the judicial branch will come after it.